Welcome to the RV Game Changer Show with Uncle Bernie. If you're interested in RVs as a consumer, service provider, or as a manufacturer of RVs, this show is for you. Here we talk to RV experts, RV manufacturers, lifestyle influencers, service providers, charitable organizations, and component providers with a sole purpose to make RVing more fun and exciting and easier for you and your family. Please subscribe to RV Game Changer with Uncle Bernie on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Of course, find us by searching at RV Game Changer on YouTube. Let's see what we can do to make your life better this week on RV Game Changer. Today on RV Game Changer, we have the pleasure of speaking with Robert McMillan, the founder, CEO, and visionary of Camping.Tools. Camping.Tools is a privacy-first web and mobile platform that functions as a digital camping journal. Campers can plan trips, drop waypoints, and record every campsite photo, video, and story on a chronological timeline, then decide exactly which friends or groups, from family reunions, scout troops, to RV clubs, get to see each memory, keeping data out of the public social feeds and advertisers' hands. Camping.Tools lets you draw inspiration from fellow adventurers, plan even better trips, and preserve every memory securely and ad-free among people who share your passion for life outdoors. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Robert McMillan. Robert, thanks for joining me on the show today.
Hey, Bernie, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Robert, can you tell the audience a little bit about your personal background and how it kind of led into this Camping.Tools?
Yeah, that goes way back. So when I was a kid, my dad takes the whole family. There's 4 kids and mom and dad, and we get a pop-up, put it on the back of an Impala, and drive from middle Georgia across the southern United States up the California coast, saw the redwoods, and worked our way all the way around through Yellowstone and back to Georgia. It was a 6-week trip in a pop-up camper. So yeah, I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I still have vivid memories. It's like there's certain things that I just absolutely still remember to this day, and that created something in me. It just lit my passion, and yeah, I mean, it's something I love.
Yeah, it sounds like it's such a really important memory for you. So anyway, you had this amazing trip, and it's really stuck with you. Any particular stories that that you either can remember from then or other camping trips that you took with your folks?
Yeah, I mean, there were these key events. One was like we stopped in White Sands, New Mexico, and I think we had, I don't know, it's like a pizza tin or a trash can lid, or maybe it was like a serving tray or something. It seemed bigger at the time, but I was small. So, and we
Yeah.
slid down the hills in the White Sand. So that was, man, it was just like a picture in my head. And then there was another one where I think it was in Wyoming, and my brother teaches me how to build a little raft out of twigs, and we had these raft races down the creek that was right next to the RV. And the other one was sitting around a big campfire. It's like, it seems like most nights we'd have a campfire, and that would be the time for roasting marshmallows and looking at the stars, and looking for jackrabbits, and yeah, it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that is spectacular. And you just kind of summed up why people really enjoy camping. It's not about this huge big rig that's kind of behind me and my green screen back here. It's more about what you can do outside and with who you're doing it, and just having simple entertainment, like grabbing that trash can lid and sliding down the hill, and it's sticking with you. I don't know how many years later. I haven't talked to you about your age, but it's been a while.
Yes, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
and way back then, we didn't have all the electronics and the phones and televisions for that matter. We had TV, but never on the road. And yeah, it's just we need to get that back into our lives, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you have this website and this forum or platform to help people with that. Tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea for camping.tools.
So rolling it forward, you know, from when I was a kid, I was a scout leader for my kids, my two boys, and we were heavy into camping. Um, and wanting to relive that experience, you know, knowing that you got to catch that impressionable age of those kids, you know, between the, you know, the 8 and the 12 or 13, because once they get to be teenagers, they're checked out in their own thing. So I took this trip from Atlanta to Glacier National Park in a Volkswagen Jetta diesel. It was a wagon. Put a roof rack on the top of it, and we were fully loaded. I had to put bigger springs on the back end of it.
Oh,
And
my God.
we would drive for about 8 hours, and I had a simple rule, you know, stay off the freeways as much as possible. And we would drive for about 8 hours and then camp for 2 or 3 days and then rinse and repeat. So as I'm doing this, my wife is like, because my wife didn't go with me, she was working. And she's worried, you know, she's like, where are you? Are you in a ditch? Where are the kids? Because the kids were like 11 and 6. And yeah, I just wanted to record all his memories, you know, and capture the experience. And I was looking for online tools, you know, I'm in IT, I build enterprise systems, and I'm pretty well versed about what's out there. And at the time, there was no good app that was explicitly for that purpose. You know, how do I plan my trip? You know, how do I still want to save my pictures like I can on and share them like I can on social, but I really don't want to be on social. Especially I can't tell the world that I'm, you know, not at home for 3 weeks, you know? And so I'm just, it was living the experience and not having the tool that I needed. And that's what created the idea of camping.tools.
So tell me a little bit about this. So, like in social media, if you put a picture up there, anyone could take it and anyone could try to be you, or anybody could use that for marketing purposes or whatever. But for you, for this is different, right? Camping tools is different. Let's talk about the differences and how that benefits the end user.
Sure. So it starts off absolutely private. When you create an account, you know, you can see what others have published publicly to the Camping Tools community, because you know, that's one of these features of it. We want people to share their experiences. But when you start, you create a trip. Everything's trip based, and when you post a memory, it automatically goes into that trip when you're traveling in that date range. So it's organizing your content for you by trip and simplifying that, you know, whole part of it. But we're not, you know, we don't have the algorithms in place to manipulate your brain and, you know, make you want to get into a doom scroll where you're, you know, just getting that dopamine kick from every time somebody hits a like or something.
Yeah, I'm a victim of that. Yep.
But you can, you know, you can still like and see and search and other things like that in the app. But it's different because, like I said, it starts off absolutely private, and until you start sharing it with people, nobody's going to see what you have. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of users that only want private. You know, they like the organizing and the capture and the storage and the preserving the memories, and they don't want anybody else to know.
Wow. But you can also share it with just individuals too, like groups of family members or like a club or whatever it may be. You know what? If you don't mind, I'm going to hop onto your website right now. I have it open. I logged in, and let's go through the process here. If you want to walk me through this, I haven't even done anything other than sign up for it. But can I click on new trip and see where we go?
Click on new trip. It's going to ask you to create a trip, which is a title, a date range, and a picture if you want to.
Okay.
Now, some people say, you know, what is a trip? Is it a campground? Is it a Is it a season? Is it, what is it? And it's
Right.
quite literally whatever you want it to be. Like I said, it's a title and a date range. So what I'm on right now, I've called Colorado 2025 because I know it's the only time I'm going to go to Colorado this year.
Right.
So I'm stopping, I've got 4 or 5 different stops, and those are my different waypoints. But right now we're creating a trip.
All right. So I don't have a picture ready to upload, but I can save this as a trip, correct?
Save that as a trip.
All right. So now, you can set your timeline, itinerary, so you can talk about the different places you're gonna stop. Is it basically? Yep. And then how about like posting video or other things?
So on your timeline, see just to the left of it, you see that little plus sign?
Yep.
So
right here.
Every trip has these components in it. So every trip has its own timeline, its own itinerary. So it's organized by the trip.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you go and say add memory, now
so
you're creating
kind of log in here a little bit if I wanted to.
Yeah, this is kind of like your Facebook post. You would just type in your text, add some pictures, and that's your, real quick, I need to capture this moment.
Yeah. Fantastic. And since you have an app, it would be real easy to do that. I'm doing it on the screen so we can look at it, but from an app, you could just upload those pictures directly from your app, from your phone into your app.
That's right. Pictures and videos.
Pictures and videos. So if I click on itinerary, I don't know if it's letting me in.
Yeah,
there it
itinerary.
goes. Then I can hit the plus sign again.
Yeah, add a waypoint.
Add a waypoint. Yep, I got you. And then I could say
just type
Jersey
in
what do you want me to type in?
Any destination. Let's say you want to go to St. Louis. And then you just choose it from the list down there and it'll populate.
Yep. And then I put dates on that.
Yep.
In there. And add some photos if I'd like. And then I can save that. It needs some dates. So I'm going to do it.
You also need to give it a title.
Waypoint title.
Just call it St. Louis KOA or something. That'll work too.
I like it. Okay. Oops. KPA. That's a different thing. Okay. And then we have it. And I'm going to go to the 23rd, say. Save. Whoops. That doesn't belong there. Oh, look at that. And now it shows a map of that area and some of the important things in that area.
On the mobile app, we're using the Google Maps.
Yeah.
And then you can navigate all of your different waypoints on the Google Maps app, which is embedded in our mobile app.
That's wonderful. So then you can do the navigation right from there.
Yeah. Now we don't actually navigate in terms of, we don't tell you where to turn right and left. It's more of a capture and a record of the things that you did and the things that you saw.
Wonderful. Yeah. So you're checking in different spots.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can associate on the mobile app, you can link the waypoint to a memory or to a video.
Fantastic. Then I get the memory and I can create a waypoint and a memory there as well. And then it kind of compiles it for this trip that I put together, correct?
Correct. And then you can share that whole trip with a friend if you want to. And that's when, we were saying you can have an individual you can share it with an individual person. You can share it with a group. I set up a group for my family. And so when I'm traveling, I can, all I have to do is share that trip with the family group. And when I post to it, they can see all of the different ads and, updates that I make along the way.
That's fantastic. Now I'm going to go back in there because is there like a home screen where you can see like activity for people that you either follow or they've given you permission to look at their stuff
Yep,
on
that's
this?
the Explore.
All right, we're going to explore.
And so the
And
All tab, this is more
Yep.
of your Facebook style feed. It's these are posts that members of Camping Tools have made public to the Camping Tools community.
Wow, look at that. Grand Design Rally. And I love the pictures above. Whoever took these pictures did a wonderful job. Wow, what a sky.
Yeah. You get some great shots on the road.
Wow. That's what makes the trips worthwhile. It's these little moments that you don't know they're going to happen. You're not expecting them to happen, but then sky happens, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And this looks like
we went
Tennessee
to
Grand
a
Design. Yeah.
we were sponsors at the Grand Design Rally, and we had some giveaways, so there were some winners out there.
Fantastic. What else we got going on here? And Liza posted a video here. Looks like could be some food. Yeah.
Fried chicken strips.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah. That's good living right there.
Yeah.
Sure. Let me pull this back.
And then at the top of that screen, you had a tab for friends and groups. So that would give you a quick way to see what your friends have posted and what your groups have posted.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you can kind of isolate it a little bit. Oh yeah, I got you. And I don't have any friends yet because I'm just a lonely boy, but I will. I'll get my friends.
Send me a
promise
request.
you
I'll
that.
friend you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. So let's dig into the privacy issue. And I know that's really important to you, and that's part of the reason that you started this platform. Tell us about your thoughts on that and what camping.tools has done to help out the end user on that.
Yeah. So, kind of in my career and my professional space, I've been designing enterprise systems and doing data privacy for a long time. And I wanted to, ensure that people had the privacy and security of their information. But the bigger component of it was to not be in social, because the traditional social sites, it just seems like, everybody has all your stuff, everybody knows everything about you. So I wanted to start off with privacy first. Your data is your data, from the day you upload it to the day you take it down. And it's up to you if you share it. It's not, we don't take ownership of it when you upload it to the site. It remains yours. What we do reserve the right to do is when you post something publicly to the community. For example, if you wrote a blog post, which we call a story, that's public to the world. And so what we will do in those situations is take a link to that and circulate it in our newsletter to all of our members. So it still stays within the community, but we do kind of tell the world about, look what these other cool people in Camping Tools are doing when they share it publicly.
Well, that's fantastic. So it gives you all 100% control.
That's
because
right.
it seems like on social media, once you put something up, you got to put it up all the way. Like you can't kind of keep it tucked away and save it for another day. So this gives you that opportunity to be able to go on a trip, upload things while you're doing it, so that way you stay on top of it. And then when you're ready to deliver it, and you might take it back down and edit it and put it back up or whatever you want to do with that video, but it gives you a place to kind of keep it in the meantime while you're still maybe working on the creative aspect. But you also want to have great privacy for your family too, so that way they're not trying to break into your house while you're traveling.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, you can add things. So I was asked the other day, can you add a trip that you took 2 years ago? I'm like, absolutely. And you just change the dates to add old stuff. And for the new stuff, like you said, what I'll do is I'll put it into a group. I'll share it with my family. I don't publish it. And then when I get back home, after I've traveled, then I'll make it public because I want other people to see what I'm doing. And people, they really tend to like that. And because it's trip based, you can share the whole trip with one share. You don't have to go in and share every single post that you had for somebody to see the collection of everything that you did in that trip.
Oh, wow. You have several different posts and you can do it as that whole trip and do a dump at that one point.
Yeah, you're basically just sharing the trip, and people will see that you've shared the trip with them because you shared it to them individually, or they're in a group that you shared it with, and then they can see there's a link on the all tab that says view shared trips or my shared trips. On the website it's actually on the trips page, but you look at the my shared trips and you see all of the trips that people have shared with you, and then you can see all of their stuff.
That's wonderful. So, and speaking of trips, you're in an RV right now, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Live on the road.
Is that your home or your home away from home?
It's my home away from home. I'm actually I'm at the Wyoming State Welcome Center. I just crossed over from Colorado. I picked up my son from college for the summer. So it's serving as my utility trailer and my home. I would show you around, but it is full of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a lot of stuff to kind of move back home for the summer.
That's right.
Boy. Yeah, I have a couple of nephews and I'm going to be going through a similar process in the next couple of weeks myself. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So on your site, I noticed that you have many different types of RVers. They're not all big rig or they're not all travel trailers. You have campers as well, like people that just go camping in a tent or a roof mounted device or whatever it may be. Tell us a little bit about the different groups of people that you might see when you join camping.tools.
Yeah, that's what makes camping so fascinating to me is we've mapped it out and we guesstimate there's about 20 different lifestyle niches within the camping community. And it starts off with the most primitive where you're hiking in and camping, and then you go to trail camping and tent camping and car camping and van life and overlanding, RVing, glamping. Like I said, there's like 20 different categories, and that's what we're targeting. With that whole camping experience, the whole umbrella. There used to be a great site out called Our Village, and they were kind of a competitor of ours, and then they went off the grid and closed, and but they were specific to RVs, and we're really trying to hit the whole camping industry.
And I noticed you had a group in place that's called Our Village. So some of those folks are kind of migrated over to your site and using that. So that's really nice. It gives them a place to call home. And that's wonderful that you gave them a place like that. And you're not kind of ostracizing or setting aside those people. They're just part of the community. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to the site. There's a couple other really interesting areas there that I want to take a look at. So let's go to stories for a minute. How does that differ from the explore area? And it looks like a different format completely
different format. So this is for the blog post capability. some people are really active about wanting to blog about their experiences and create that, outward facing contact with the community. So that's exactly what it is. The stories is a blog post. It's super easy. Anybody with an account can create a story, and you can embed pictures, you can attach pictures, you can embed video clips, YouTube links, and it's considered a media outlet for an individual, for a company, for an RV park that may want to create an account. We're coming out with a new feature, which we're calling the channel, and that's a whole nother thing. Maybe that's a different show one day, but the stories would go in the channel. And so the entities, like the groups and the individuals, the influencers, the stores, they can use that channel as another media outlet, and the story would be a component of that. But the story is publicly facing, meaning it is open to the internet. And we do that intentionally because we want to capture the SEO in searches and give vendors and influencers, everybody, the ability to create backlinks, which helps their SEO. So it's really multi-purposed.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what about this marketplace? So you have kind of like a little shopping area for your members?
Yeah, so this is a Craigslist style. People are buying and selling. Whenever a seller wants to move an item and someone's interested in it, they'll click a button that says contact the seller. And those two people have a conversation. They figure out the transaction. They figure out the shipping. We're not involved. We're simply giving you a voice to let people know that you have things for sale, and in a convenient format. It's all of this is form driven. So the stories in the marketplace. When a member goes in to create a story or to add a marketplace item, it's a form. You just fill out the form, upload the pictures, and hit publish, and you're done.
Wow, I see here that these 200 amp hour batteries, there's two of them for $700. That's actually a pretty good deal. But
It is.
Yep, absolutely. And you have all kinds of things in here, backpacks and sleeping bags and camp kitchen items. I got to take a look at that because that's where I spend most of my time, is outside cooking. So, yeah, the old Coleman, it's a 3-burner camp stove, which that's a pretty good size one. And we just got this, 𝒂𝒊𝒍𝒂𝒃 collapsible dish rack. We love it. You can actually use it like a bowl and carry stuff out to lunch too, so it's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Different kind of ice packs and everything. But wow, you got clothing in here and hammocks and all kinds of stuff. You have a lot of great categories in there, and what a great resource for everyone to use. Wow, I'll tell you, Robert, this is a great site, and people really need to know about it. We're going to try to spread the word here at RV Game Changer. And if you had any final thoughts for reasons why people should go to camping.tools, I greatly appreciate you sharing with us.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason, not only for what you get in terms of utility, we don't manipulate your time. We try to give you something to save you time and to simplify your life and not, basically extort from your life. And people always ask, well, how do you make your money? And everything that you see in the app right now, in the website and in the app right now, is free. You'll be able to continue to use those capabilities for free. We're going to add some value add features down the road. Those will be part of a membership model. We're going to have a 4-pay membership, which is more of like a Costco model, where you pay for the membership and you get discounts on products and services that our partner vendors may offer. Again, that membership is optional. You can still use the application for free, which means that if you want to share your trip with friends and family, maybe they're not campers, but they can still get into the site and create an account, download the app, see all of your adventures, and it won't cost them a dime.
And maybe even buy us some Christmas gifts or something too, So since they know you're an RVer, they could buy us some nice camp chairs or whatever it may be. But that's a great idea. And just so you know, folks, what you see up there, camping.tools, is the actual URL. That's how I found this site. So it works. I've never seen tools URL before, but it seems to be working just fine. So good job on that.
And invite me to be your friend, Robert. I'll be glad to friend you.
I will look you up right after we get off this. Today's episode of RV Game Changer is brought to you by RVing Today TV. If you're looking for RV Game Changer or anything to do with RVing and camping, you'll bet you'll find it on RVing Today TV. Visit rvgamechanger.tv, where you'll find a list of stations and networks carrying their shows, along with additional stories, news, and contests. To get a hold of me, go to RV Game Changer on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Have a great day and God bless.